Coming up on episode 72 of Creative Writing, I'm talking all about how to monetize your email list.
I can't go back to sleep, it's almost light. These restless thoughts have kept me up again tonight.
Hello and welcome to episode 72 of Creative Writing. I'm your host, Kirsten Oliphant, and this is the podcast for you if you are a writer, blogger, or creative who wants to build an online platform without being smarmy. And today we are going to talk all about non-smarmy sales tactics using your email list. This past weekend, I got to speak at Blog Elevated, a conference I have been to I think, is it 4 or 5 years? You guys know I'm not good with numbers, but I have been as a volunteer and as an attendee and twice as a speaker, which has been really fun. And this weekend, I got to speak on getting the most ROI out of your email list. And I'm not going to talk about all the parts of that today, but I am going to talk about the specific parts about monetization, which is obviously something people are interested in for the most part. And so you're going to find the show notes at creativewriting.com/072 for episode 72. So if you need a little background and context for this episode, because I'm not really going to talk about how to start an email list or a lot of those questions, I do have the free email course that you can take, and that can be found at freeemailcourse.com, and that will get you started. And for the rest of the week, I am leaving my book, Email Lists Made Easy for Writers and Bloggers, on sale for 99 cents. And you can find that. There's a short link for it, but it's on Amazon, so I don't know the short link offhand. These are things you should prepare for before recording your podcast. However, I'm recording with small children awake in my house, so I'm not sure how this is going to go because my microphone wouldn't work last night. You know, behind the scenes, just giving you a little peek behind the curtain of the craziness that is my life. And my life continues to be plagued by tech issues. I don't know if were you guys affected by the crazy attacks, the hacker attacks over the weekend? I was. One of my sites was up, but the back end I could not get into, which was kind of terrifying. I was actually very thankful that that's why it was. It's because some plugin of some kind was hosted, whatever. Tech things I don't understand. It just meant that I couldn't log into my own site. Perfect, right? So you can check out the free email course or Email Lists Made Easy for Writers and Bloggers on Amazon for 99 cents this week if you need help getting started. But for today, we're going to dive into monetization. So I will say, first of all, that for me, when I moved to kind of having more of a list building mindset than a traffic building mindset, it changed a lot of things for me. And you still need traffic to build your list, right? But the list that I have built for creative writing is double the size of the list that I have for my lifestyle blog, KirstenOliphant.com. And yet my traffic is maybe a tenth of the traffic, maybe a little more. I'm not a huge person who looks at those kinds of numbers. The theme being, I don't like numbers. And so I was able to build a bigger list with a smaller amount of traffic. So you do need some traffic. You do need some connections. However, you can still build a list without having hundreds and thousands of page views. So once I started kind of focusing on having a core group of people that I really worked to kind of pour into and offer value to, that really changed my mindset and my business, because those people that you get on your email list are already sort of like, the email marketers would say that they are already like qualified leads, they're warm leads, because if someone's opted into your list, it's different than just following on Twitter or liking on Facebook where you just click one button. You have to enter your email address and click something and then go to your email and then check something and then click another link. There's more work to it. So you already know those people are more invested at the start. That doesn't mean they're going to be great buyers, but it means they're much more likely to buy from you than somebody who just follows you on Twitter. So talking about ROI like it did this weekend, the return on investment, the money is kind of one of the returns that can come. The other one being influence. And I'm not going to touch on that as much today. I may do that in another episode. But in terms of the money, I'm going to talk about some specific ways that you can and that I have made money with my email list. And the main couple ones, there's affiliate marketing, there's selling digital or physical products, you can do your coaching or services, and then ads or sponsors. And that one I'm barely going to touch on. So affiliate marketing, I think you guys probably all know what that is, but it's basically you're promoting someone else's product and you get a commission if someone buys. And there's tons of different kind of affiliate programs. Two quick things I want to get out of the way that are common misconceptions. A lot of people think that MailChimp does not allow this, and they do. They actually have a whole page set up to talk about this, but their wording for me is really confusing. And again, I'm not a marketer, so that may be why I don't understand it, but they say they don't allow affiliate marketing. But if you read what that is, I'm like, oh, that's not what I'm doing. But they do allow affiliate links, and that's what I'm doing. And most likely that's what you're doing too. So I'll try to leave a link for that in the show notes, but MailChimp does allow monetization. I've actually heard this rumor even recently, people saying, oh, I had to switch out of MailChimp so I could monetize my list. I'm like, no, you don't. Amazon, however, their terms of service do not allow you to use affiliate links in your email. And that's another just biggie because a lot of people are Amazon affiliates. They start there with their affiliate marketing. So the kind of lesson learned, those are two really big common misconceptions, but you need to check the terms of service of your email provider and of the affiliate program to make sure it's something that you're allowed to do. So always check those terms of service. It's the part we don't want to read, but it's important to read it. The other thing, and you guys know this if you have listened to the podcast or read anything of mine, always disclose. This is my big pet peeve. And my rule of thumb is if there's a cookie involved, not the kind you eat, but the kind that attaches to somebody clicking through a link, then it requires disclosure. And that's a very clear FTC thing. But a lot of people, if it's like a free course, but then there's an upsell to buy, but you only get a commission if they buy, if there's a cookie attached, you still need to disclose that and find a wording that says, here's my affiliate link to this free webinar. If you do purchase something in the future, I will get a commission. You can explain it in your own language. It is a little bit more confusing, but I feel like in some ways the people who kind of invented this way of doing it did so to make it so they didn't feel like they had to disclose, but they really should. And the FTC has been cracking down a lot more lately on all kinds of, especially with bloggers and brands, all kinds of things. They've mostly come down on the brand side of things, but there's no way to know that they're going to only do that. And so it's really important. So I will also link to information about disclosure, but you can listen to episode 33 of this podcast to hear me talk a lot more about disclosure, but always disclose. Tell your people. The FTC wants it to become before outbound links, so it shouldn't just be at the bottom of your email. It can be at the top. I usually don't put it at the very top, but have like a little intro paragraph, and I put it in before I get to my links. So here are some affiliate programs, since you can't use Amazon, and that's one a lot of people use. Here are some really common ones that I've seen people using or that I have used myself. One of them is Ultimate Bundles, and it may be too late to get on this now. I will leave a link anyway in the show notes to this, but Ultimate Bundles people basically bundle together courses and ebooks and sell them all at a really great price, like really great, like thousands of dollars of savings. But if you're an affiliate for them, you get a commission of like 30%, and it's fantastic. So I will leave the link if you want to sign up. They're starting one this week, the Genius Bloggers Bundle. And I'll actually leave a link to that bundle in case that's something you're interested in, because it's got really great resources. I actually have one of my courses, the Foundation Series, in there. And the bundles are fantastic. They have homemaking bundles and healthy living bundles. They've had a photography bundle. So depending on your niche or niche, depending on how you want to say that, they will have a bundle that likely will fit your audience. And so that's a really great group to become an affiliate for. So I'll leave the link to where to become an affiliate. And also, if you want to buy the bundle, I'll leave that there too, because it's going on sale starting this week. Grove Collaborative is one I've seen a lot of like home and mom bloggers use. They do a lot of green cleaning products and home products. There are some major affiliate programs people use, like Share a Sale, Commission Junction, and Affiliate Window. All three of those work with a bunch of different brands. So you sign up through, Affiliate Window, and then you actually apply to the different brands and can get the code to put that on your blog or in your email to promote those products. And again, you always want to check the terms of service. Most of the time it's fine, but you do want to check, and it may vary for brand. Maybe some brands say, no, I'm not quite sure. I don't use those as much. So just be sure you check the terms of service or email someone to ask. And then one of the best ways that I have found to make an affiliate income is through courses and ebooks. So a lot of bloggers and entrepreneurs and marketers are doing online courses, or they're selling ebooks that are often pricier, like not on Amazon, because there's the Amazon affiliate program, but there's no specific for books, but a lot of bloggers I know have a specific, they'll have ebooks that are $20 and they'll have an affiliate program that pays out like 30%. So these are things to kind of keep in mind, that the affiliate program, there's a length of time for the cookie. So Amazon, it's 24 hours. Again, you're not using those in your email, but just to let you know, there's this 24 hours, but some of these, they have like a lifetime cookie. So like if someone clicks through to get a free webinar from somebody's program you're an affiliate for, and then later buys their course, like 6 months later, you will still get a commission. So it just depends on the cookie, and all the commissions depend as well, and they could be really different. So I really like to do some of these higher price things, like the courses that I feel like are a good fit for you guys. And if I was going to tell you about them anyway, because that's kind of how I base it. Like I haven't always bought all of the products I've promoted, but it has to be from somebody I trust. It has to be something where I've at least gotten to see the back end, even if I haven't gone through the entire course. And also just something I think you guys would be interested in. I'm not going to waste time in my email promoting things I don't think are of interest to you. Other ones that you could use for affiliate programs, your email host. Okay, so ConvertKit. I'm an affiliate for ConvertKit, and I love them. They're not the only email service provider I use. They're what I use for creative writing. For my lifestyle blog, I still use MailChimp because I'm just sending out one email a week, and it's pretty basic. Aweber has a really good program. MailChimp's affiliate program is not so great. Mad Mimi just got rid of theirs, and I'm not sure about all the others. Those are kind of the four I'm most familiar with. So just check to see. But ConvertKit, the reason I use them is not the affiliate program, but that's like such a sweet thing. It's like a sweet cherry on top of using ConvertKit because I love it. But you get 30% of what the people who sign up under you pay every month. So if someone signs up under me and they're on like the $30 plan, for example, it's $29, every month I will get, like $9 or $10 from that person forever. So it's a really great program that pays out every month. The Genesis framework, Studio Press, I think is who creates that. I think their Genesis might be under the whole Studio Press umbrella. Tailwind and Board Booster, which are both schedulers for Pinterest, a lot of people use. They have referral programs. AppSumo is another one that I use. They just give credit. And I think Tailwind and Board Booster also just give credit. But that can make some of the tools that you use free. So if you're not sure what would work for kind of your niche and for your people, consider the products you use. Consider the things that you look at. Consider the things your people use and like. And then see if they have an affiliate program. And then sign up for it and you can promote that. You should always affiliate for things or products that you love or trust and that your audience would also connect with. So that's just a really important thing. For me, some people will only be an affiliate if they've actually gone through the program. For me, I'm a little bit less picky, but it has to be somebody I really trust. Like I've seen other content of theirs, or again, like I want to see the back end of whatever it is that I'm using. Or, in the case of well, I guess I don't do that anymore. I did promote Bluehost for a while, but I can't promote them anymore because they were not helpful to my site. And so I used to recommend them, but I don't anymore. But if you use something, but maybe outgrew it and moved on to something else, but you still liked it and it might be good for somebody else at a different space and time, then that's something maybe you could recommend, even though you're not currently using it. So that's kind of affiliate marketing and in ways that you can use it for email. Okay. And I'm going to zip through kind of the ways and then kind of also how to frame that at the end, like how to actually do the selling part. So your products and ebooks. Now the question is, are you creating digital products? Are you writing ebooks? Are you creating courses? You could be. A lot of people will say you should be. I feel like there are so many courses on courses and things like that out there. But the thing is, it's not for everybody. I love teaching. So this is a great arena for me. I really love what I do and when I get to teach people. So courses, ebooks are a perfect fit for me because I'm also a writer. So yeah, but it may not be a fit for you. And don't write it off until you're sure. You may want to try it. And you may really hate it, or you may really love it. It's not clear, but it's something to consider because it's a very lucrative business right now. I think actually I'm trying to think what it was. I think that online learning, like e-courses, is $1 billion industry. That's pretty insane. Okay, so there's a lot of demand for this. So if you're trying to consider what kind of products you could create, think about what do you love? What are you passionate about? What do people ask you for help about? What posts of yours have the most traffic or engagement? those are all places to start. And you can kind of consider, because sometimes you're really interested in something, but people don't want to pay for it. So you have to kind of consider that too. And I like to look around and see what other people are offering to get inspired, or also to get ideas and kind of piggyback off of those, not to create a similar course. But it is okay if somebody has already created a similar course. If you know right off the bat, okay, I want to teach one that tells people how to deal with the back end of their WordPress site. And then you look and someone's already done that. That's okay, because you have your unique voice and spin on that. So it doesn't mean you can't do it. And it does mean that there's a demand. Sometimes if you look and there's no course about it, that can be a little bit alarming, right? Because maybe nobody cares and nobody will pay for it. So do think about the things that you love. And because if you don't love it, you're really not going to have fun creating a course or teaching it. And what are the things people ask you? What brings traffic to your site? And your list really is the best place to sell your products, because those people already love your voice. That's why they're there. So just kind of a confirmation of, those products, you can sell them in all kinds of ways, but your list is going to be your best bet for selling those. So one more I'll do two more things. Coaching and services, I'm going to put together. Maybe you offer services. Maybe you do client work, you do VA work, virtual assistant work. Maybe you help people get the back end of their WordPress site straightened out. Any of those things you can sell through your email list, because again, those are people that have already expressed interest and kind of given a loyalty and a nod to the loyalty they have for you and your style of teaching or your style of working. And so this is something where for you, it may be a really good place to sell those products and services. It doesn't mean you have to sell in every email. And again, I'm going to get to some best practices for selling in a little bit, but it does mean that those are the people who are already drawn to something about you. So if they're going to hire a coach, they're more likely to hire you than somebody else. And kind of the last thing I want to touch on is sponsors and ads. And this is something I don't have as much to say about, because there are ad networks for email, but I haven't found any that that I can recommend, that I really trust necessarily. There's some out there, but I can't decide if they look good or not. And I don't know anyone in the blogging, writing space that's really using ads. Sometimes people use sponsors. I have seen people with sponsored emails. And that's something I would maybe more recommend. So if you're already working with brands, then email is another place that you could leverage. Maybe you could leverage it on your own. Like, you don't want to write a blog post. Hey, I'd love to put this in my email. And you could contact the company in kind of the same way you do a media kit. And they may not ask for all the information. Maybe just tell them, here's how many people are on my list. I send out an email once a week. I would love to have you be my sponsor for the month of October. And here's how much I'm going to charge. And just see, I think that the more we see bloggers growing their email list, because that's definitely, I think in the last year or two, there's been a big shift towards that. The marketers have always been doing this, but bloggers and writers are learning more and more and more how important this is. So I do think there's going to be a shift to seeing more sponsored content in email and seeing brands be more interested in email. So it may be something where you reach out directly to the brand and say, hey, this is what I want to do. Not a post, but an email, which I really like, because sometimes the sponsored posts, after all, you want to either take them down or you want to edit them so that they're different depending on how you wrote it. But your email goes out one time, and so it's not as much of an evergreen thing that's living on your site, which I really like. So that may be another option for you in terms of making money. So how exactly do you do this? How exactly do you sell to your list? The first thing that's really important is, it's called ROI, return on investment, because you invest. Okay, you have to invest in your list. You can't just have a list with a bunch of numbers on it and think that's going to make sales. If you don't know how to treat your people when you have 200 people on your list, you're not going to do any better with 2,000. Okay, you have to learn, and I would say learn early and keep developing, because it changes and develops, but learn early how you want to connect with your email list, and you really should be connecting. This should be a really intimate relationship. I like to say that email is one to many, because everybody knows if they're on a list that the email is going out to many people. But because it comes to their inbox, it feels like one-to-one. You have a really intimate relationship with that person and that reader. I like to even deepen that by asking them to hit reply when I email. And if you guys are on my email list, hey, everybody, then you know this if you've ever hit reply, because unless I miss one, which I really try not to, I am human, but I do respond to every email. And that may not be the choice that you make for yourself. You may not be able to scale that. But I do think it's an amazing way to connect with your people. So you need to figure out what that connection looks like for you and make the connection before you start selling or asking things of them. You're building trust with those readers. You also are going to have to work on finding your selling voice. And this was really hard for me at first. And I think this is really hard for a lot of creative people who don't consider themselves super business savvy or entrepreneur-y. But you have to find your selling voice, the voice that feels comfortable, but also confident for you. But it's not like a totally different voice. And I think that's the problem is often when we're trying to sell something, we lose the voice that we have developed to write in general. And so you have to find your selling voice. And what that means is it should still sound like you, but it's selling something. Okay. So a couple tips for this. So if you were not trained in sales copy or in sales, it's going to be a struggle, but what you can do is study copy. And a lot of the great copywriters will say the best way to study it is to find good sales copy, like on people's sales pages or emails that you get that are salesy, and copy it by hand into a notebook. And there's something about when you write things down by hand, which I think is why they recommend this, but it really helps you see things. And you can study them. If an email hits your inbox and you have no interest in the product, but you still want to buy it, that's good sales copy, okay? So save that. Have a little folder or copy and paste it and put it in an Evernote document of good sales copy. And you can kind of study it. Okay, like what about this worked? How did they start off the email? At what point in the email did they actually pitch something? And how did they frame that pitch? Studying it is great, but it's not you. You have to take those kind of lessons that you learn and then see what feels like you. And for me, I think a lot of times the things that tend to quote unquote work and that people suggest, like using some of the psychological tricks and urgency and these things, some of those things are really great and I understand why they work. But for me and my personality, I kind of just want to be like, look, you guys, here's my product. You already know if it's for you or not. Buy it or don't. I'm still glad you're on my list, but here it is. I'm giving it to you. It's very valuable. I hope you spend, and if not, I'm still glad you're here. That tends to be more my style. Put in a different way. I craft it a little bit better than I just did right now. But that tends to be more my style because that feels like me, and I don't want to use more of the psychological sales things. That's just not who I am. You need to figure out who you are and what that sales voice sounds like for you. So you should speak like you. You shouldn't be ashamed because you should be selling whatever it is. If you feel ashamed, either you need to get over it because you're having a problem with sales, or you're selling something you shouldn't sell. Maybe it's a product that's not done yet. Maybe it's something you're not proud of and needs more work. Maybe it's an affiliate program you shouldn't have said yes to because it's not a good fit. So if you're feeling kind of ashamed or awkward about it, you need to see if it's just because you're awkward with sales or if you're selling something you shouldn't. And then don't just sell. Your email list, you should be providing value all the time. You should not be emailing people just when you have a sale, just when you have a discount. You should be connecting with those people all the time so that when a sale comes through, they've already trusted you enough that they might actually invest. Your email subscribers are your VIPs, so you shouldn't just treat them like potential customers or numbers. And again, I've seen a really big ROI from even a small list. You can target and segment your list. I had a webinar one time, a kind of webinar series, and I had about 200 people sign up for it. So when I had a paid product, then I only sold to those people. And then with one email in an afternoon, I made like $500 or $600, and it was fantastic. And I sold in a way that felt like me, so I felt really good about it. But I only sold to a couple hundred people. So if you are targeting your list, or if you have a small list, you can still make money from that smaller list. You just have to invest your time, build up the trust, and have products that you feel like are a good fit for your people that you can confidently present to them. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there. I have a child clawing at the baby gate to get in here. So you guys can find the show notes and links at creativewriting.com/072. And I don't know that it's going to pick up or not. There's this clanging of this baby gate as my 3-year-old is trying to get in. I'm really thankful to Jasmine Commerce of jasminecommercemusic.com for the music for the show. And if you guys want to connect further with me, you can always do so by going to creativewriting.com/subscribe to get on my email list where I'm not just going to sell to you. And you can also connect with the whole Creative Writing community at creativewriting.com/community. Thank you so much for listening. I'm really glad that you guys are here, and I hope you have an inspired week.